I was just going to build on that. So it's interesting, right? Because I think there's a lot of James Hilliards running around who think they've got more gas in the tank. They've got more potential, but they've got the comfort of the job, maybe a little bit risk averse. There's a lot of stuff rolling around, right? Upstairs. But for some reason, you got to the point where you decided to jump out of the plane, whether you had a parachute or not, who knows? But you did it. And I'm just wondering, can you share with the folks what it was like for you to take the risk again, especially after you just acknowledged that you failed the first time, or you didn't meet expectations, however you want to frame it. How do you get the courage to get back up on it again and go for it?
Yeah, I think it comes back down to knowledge and experience. So could I have done what I'm doing today earlier? Maybe. Could I have done it with the same gusto and the same impact? Probably not. I think I did have to have those experiences as the employee to be able to do what I'm doing today. But I think you're right. Yeah, I did a series of 20 research interviews, live video interviews, 1 hour, 90 minutes long before I jumped. Because I wanted to know, what is it that people are going to need most amount of help with? So they're going to want to know if they're scared and are scared about the insecurity of what might happen running their own business. I need to satisfy that for them, to give them a model, a framework, a blueprint, if you like, that's going to allow them to figure out either how to exit their job or how to build their business, or both, depending on who the individual is. So I deal in those spaces. But for me, it's kind of what you're asking, I've always felt like everything can be figured out as long as your philosophy is right. So the way in which you think. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is though in those interviews, the difference between those who are going to do this and those who are not is that the way they think, their philosophy of life, and that and some of them are not yet aware enough to realize that their thought patterns hold them back. So that what it was for me, is that I've been privileged and blessed to be in leadership and strategic positions in lots of multi-billion-dollar companies. So I'd been around people who had either a really positive mindset, but I'd also been around some people who really didn't and were pretty toxic. And they needed a lot of work on themselves. And a lot of their success had been driven by maybe unhealthy behavior. So I think that's what it came down to, is, I've always had a philosophy is, I'm meant for more, I'm here for a reason, let's go figure it out. And so that was the biggest driver. Was it's been a thought pattern that's been there for a long time, back to 2003, when I've always thought, you'll have more impact